How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. How to deal with a narcissistic family member. How to deal with a toxic family member. That's the title of this video. Number one, let's look at the emotional and psychological strategies. Set boundaries. Clearly define what behavior you will and you won't tolerate. For example, you can tell your narcissistic or toxic family member that I will not engage in conversations where you are shouting. Number two way of dealing with a narcissistic or toxic family member is to limit interaction. Reduce the time spent with the toxic individual. For example, only see them during family gatherings rather than one-on-one. Number three way of dealing with a toxic or narcissistic family member is to stay calm, cool, collected, composed. Maintain composure even if they try to provoke you. Take deep breaths and respond with a calm tone. Number four way of dealing with a narcissistic or toxic family member is to don't take it personally. Remember that their behavior is more about them than about you. If they criticize you, recognize it as their issue, not a reflection of your worth. Number five way is to practice self-care. Engage in activities that replenish your energy and boost your mood. This could be anything from exercising to meditating or meditation. Another way of dealing with a narcissistic or toxic family member is to seek therapy. Talk to a mental health professional to develop strategies for coping and to gain perspective. You can also use I statements. Communicate your feelings without blaming. For example, you can tell your narcissistic or toxic family member, I feel hurt when you criticize me. You can also develop assertiveness. Stand up for yourself without aggression. For example, you can tell your narcissistic or toxic family member, I need you to speak to me respectfully. Another way of dealing with these toxic or narcissistic family members is to avoid engaging in drama. Don't get drawn into conflicts or arguments. Instead, calmly exit the conversation if it becomes toxic. You can also journal your feelings. Writing about your experiences can help you process emotions and clarify your thoughts. The other way of dealing with these toxic or narcissistic family members is behavioral techniques. You can create physical distance. If possible, distance yourself physically from the toxic person. For example, you can take breaks from family gatherings if needed. You can also manage expectations. Understand that you may not change them and focus on managing your own responses. You can also encourage positive interactions. You can foster positive and constructive conversations rather than dwelling on conflicts. You can also choose your battles. Decide what is worth addressing and what is not. Avoid engaging in minor conflicts that could escalate. You can also demonstrate how you would like to be treated by treating them with respect, even if they don't reciprocate. You can also practice forgiveness. This doesn't mean condoning their behavior, but letting go of resentment for your own peace of mind. You can also seek support. Surround yourself with supportive friends or family who understand your situation. You can be clear and direct. Communicate your needs and boundaries clearly and without ambiguity. You can also create a support network whereby you connect with people who can offer advice, support, and perspective. You can change the subject. You can redirect conversations away from topics that tend to lead to conflict. You can also use practical strategies when dealing with narcissistic or toxic family members. For example, you can have an exit plan. Develop a plan for how to leave a situation if it becomes too stressful. You can also use technology wisely. Limit communication through text or social media if it leads to more conflict. Also, you can avoid triggers. Identify and avoid topics or actions that escalate the situation. You can also document incidents. Keep a record of toxic interactions to understand patterns and validate your feelings. You can also practice mindfulness. Use techniques like meditation to remain grounded and reduce stress. You can also establish clear communication channels whereby you use specific times and methods for discussing serious matters to avoid misunderstandings. You can also set financial boundaries. If money is a source of conflict, set clear boundaries on financial matters. You can also manage holiday plans, whereby you plan family events in ways that reduce stress, such as limiting time spent together. You can also create safe spaces. Designate areas in your home where you can retreat and recharge. Also, be prepared for pushback. Understand that toxic individuals may resist your boundaries and they may be ready to reinforce them. Another strategy to deal with toxic family members or narcissistic family members is to learn conflict resolution skills and use them. So you can negotiate solutions, work together to find compromises that address both parties' needs. You can also empathize with them, try to understand their perspective, even if you don't agree with their behavior. You can also stay objective, focus on the issue at hand rather than personal attacks. You can also use conflict resolution techniques, whereby you apply techniques such as active listening and finding common ground. You can also seek mediation, involve a neutral third party to help resolve disputes if necessary. You can also stay focused on solutions. Aim for practical solutions rather than dwelling on the problem. You can also avoid blame. Focus on how to improve the situation rather than assigning fault. You can also encourage positive reinforcement. Praise any positive behavior to reinforce it. You can also set up regular check-ins. Have scheduled times to discuss issues calmly and constructively. You can also practice problem solving together. Collaboratively work on resolving issues instead of letting them fester. Another strategy of dealing with narcissistic family members or toxic family members is self-improvement and growth. Work on self-esteem. Strengthen your self-worth through positive affirmations and accomplishments. Develop emotional intelligence. Learn to better understand and manage your emotions. Expand your knowledge. Educate yourself about toxic behaviors and healthy family dynamics. You can also embrace personal growth. Use the experience as an opportunity for self-improvement and resilience. You can also pursue hobbies and interests. Engage in activities that bring you joy and satisfaction outside of family conflicts. You can also reflect on your role. Consider how you may contribute to the dynamics and what changes you can make. You can also foster independence. Build your own life outside the toxic relationship to maintain a sense of self. You can also develop stress management skills. Learn techniques like yoga or deep breathing to handle stress better. You can also cultivate positivity. Focus on the positive aspects of your life to counterbalance the negativity. You can also set personal goals. Create and work towards goals that boost your confidence and well-being. Another strategy when dealing with toxic family members or narcissistic family members is communication techniques. Use calm and clear language. Avoid emotional or accusatory language. For example, you can say, I need to talk about how we can improve our communication. You can also listen actively. Show that you are listening and understanding their perspective before responding. You can also ask open-ended questions. Encourage dialogue with questions like, how do you think we can resolve this issue? You can also provide constructive feedback. Offer feedback in a way that is helpful and not hurtful. You can also avoid defensive responses. Don't respond to criticism with defensiveness. Instead, stay open and constructive. You can also acknowledge their feelings. Show empathy for their feelings even if you don't agree with their behavior. You can also use reflective listening. Repeat back what you heard to ensure understanding. For example, you can say, it sounds like you are upset because of, and you continue. Another way of dealing with these toxic family members or narcissistic family members is to avoid overgeneralizations. Don't use phrases like you always or you never. Stick to specific instances. You can also encourage positive dialogue. Promote discussions that focus on solutions and understanding rather than blame. You can also agree to disagree. Sometimes it's okay to have differing opinions and move on from them. Another strategy to deal with narcissistic family members or toxic family members is to set boundaries and limits. You can establish the time limits. Set time limits for interactions to avoid prolonged stress. For example, let's meet for coffee, but only for an hour. You can also limit access, restrict their access to personal information or areas of your life if it causes stress. You can also create a communication schedule. Plan specific times for discussing important matters to prevent constant conflict. You can also set boundaries for social media. Limit or control the interaction through social media if it becomes a source of stress. You can also decide what you are comfortable with. Clearly define what topics or behaviors are off limits. You can also implement a cooling off period. Take breaks from conversations or interactions when things get heated. You can also communicate your limits clearly. Be upfront about what behaviors you find unacceptable. You can also communicate your limits clearly. Be upfront about what behaviors that you will never accept. Now, you also seek agreements on boundaries. Discuss and agree on boundaries together, if possible. You can also revisit boundaries regularly. You can review and adjust boundaries as necessary based on changes in the relationship. You can also enforce boundaries consistently by sticking to the boundaries you've set to maintain your well-being. The other strategy of dealing with a toxic or narcissistic family member is the legal and safety considerations. Know your rights. Educate yourself about legal protections related to family conflict. You can seek legal advice. Consult with a lawyer if there are legal issues involved, such as harassment or custody disputes. You can also ensure personal safety. If you feel unsafe, take steps to protect yourself, such as avoiding private meetings. You can also use mediation services. Consider professional mediation if legal disputes arise. You can also keep evidence. Document any behavior that could be legally relevant, such as harassment or threats. You can also create a safety plan. Develop a plan for how to handle any unsafe situations or threats. You can also seek protective orders. If necessary, pursue legal measures like restraining orders. You can also know the support resources. Be aware of the local resources for legal and emotional support. You can also use professional services, whereby you engage with professionals who can assist with legal or safety concerns. You can also involve authorities if necessary. Don't hesitate to contact authorities if you face threats or violence. The other strategy of dealing with a toxic narcissistic family member is the family dynamics and relationships. Encourage family therapy. Suggest family therapy to address underlying issues in a structured environment. You can also focus on your relationship by prioritizing, building, and maintaining healthy relationships with other family members. You can also promote positive family activities by engaging in activities that foster positive interactions and bonding. You can also address issues early, deal with problems before they escalate to prevent larger conflicts. You can encourage open communication, foster an environment where all family members can express their feelings constructively. You can support mutual goals. You can work together towards common family goals to build a sense of unity. You can also respect different perspectives. You can, by understanding that family members may have different viewpoints, and work towards mutual respect. You can also develop conflict resolution skills by strengthening family dynamics, by improving how conflicts are handled. You can also seek family counseling. Involve a counselor to help navigate complex family dynamics and improve relationships. You can also rebuild trust gradually. If relationships have been damaged, work on rebuilding trust over time with consistent positive actions. The other strategy of dealing with a narcissistic or toxic family member is to move forward and let go. Accept what you can't change. Recognize and accept that you may not be able to change the toxic or narcissistic family member. You can focus on your future. Concentrate on building a positive and fulfilling life for yourself. You can forgive for your own peace. Understand that forgiveness is for your own well-being, not for the other person's benefit. You can also create a positive environment. Surround yourself with people and things that uplift you. You can also set new goals. Focus on setting and achieving personal goals that improve your quality of life. You can also reframe your perspective. You can shift your view of the situation to focus on what you've learned and how you've grown. You can also celebrate your strengths. Acknowledge and celebrate your resilience and strength in dealing with the situation. You can also move on gradually. Allow yourself time to heal and move forward from the toxic dynamics. Also embrace change. Be open to changing your approach as needed and adapting to new situations. You can also create new traditions, establish the new traditions or routines that bring positivity into your life. Navigating a toxic narcissistic relationship, especially within a family, requires a balance of self-care, clear communication, and sometimes professional help. Each strategy can be adapted to fit your personal circumstances and needs. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Subscribe. Thank you.